I heard the streets have been—
Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. This video we're about to be reacting to is Tony Brienne, the horrors of cruises, missing people, crimes, and cover-ups at sea. I'm so glad that she's getting away from, or kind of moving away from, you know, the Love Island shit, talking about, you know, how black women are unappreciated, you know, the dating. It's cool to switch it up and stuff like that. Different type of commentary, so I'm fucking with it. You know, she would talk about Kardashians and shit like that, and nose jobs and the superficial stuff. Come on now, you know, it's time to stop talking about the race and let's get into a little bit of true crime. Let's get into a little bit of conspiracy theories. Let's get into a little bit of, you know, the other shit. Like the AI shit was cool, but let's go ahead and get into this reaction. While we're getting to this reaction, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my shit. All right, and also I'm gonna be blending my shit, so it's gonna be loud. Fair warning.
Saying that you guys have been
I'll be right
dying
back
for my conspiracy theory content again. So here we are. What is—
And these are live reactions too. I didn't say that to her. And she's holding the mic too? Okay.
What's up, you guys?
Go ahead, be
Welcome back
different,
to my
baby.
channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Tony Brienne, and in today's video, we're gonna be discussing the horrors of cruise ships. I'm sure you guys probably know exactly why I came up with this topic, especially with a lot of cruise content going viral. Well, the dangers of cruise content going viral with the new Netflix documentary, Amy Bradley is Missing. But before we get into the absolute gore of cruise ships, you know we have to start off every video with a little bit of positivity. So let's first start off with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "I let go of the need to be perfect." Today's verse of the day is Samuel chapter 2 verse 2, and it reads, "There is no one holy like the Lord. There is no one besides you. There is no rock like our God." Please be sure you guys are subscribed to my channel. Of course, we're on the road to 300,000 subscribers, so all of the love and support would be so crucial right now. Along with subscribing to my channel, Tony Brienne TV is also a podcast. So if you guys want to listen to me while you guys are doing your laundry, on the road, cleaning your house, you can do so. I'm available on all audio streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and that will be linked down below as well. I also have—
one of these days, we gonna react to her podcast. One of these days. I don't know when, but we gonna react to it.
I have a separate podcast called The Decision Podcast, and it is about how one choice can impact your entire life. My podcast, The Decision, is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you are interested in becoming a guest on The Decision Podcast and you are in the Atlanta area or willing to travel to the Atlanta area, I will also be linking the forum down below. I would absolutely love to interview you and share your story. And yeah, without further ado, guys, let's get straight into today's video.
Loud noise coming.
When you first think of cruises, you just think of absolute fun. Midnight ice cream runs, late night pizza stops, live shows, casinos, dance parties, swimming pools, liquor. It all sounds like absolute vibes. But if you zoom out and actually look just a bit closer, you will quickly realize that cruises aren't just floating hotels. Instead of floating hotels, they're actually floating cities.
When I think of cruises, everything she just said. Shit, smoothies, the drinks, the motherfucking, what else? The motherfucking, the late night pizzas, the 24-hour pizzas and shit like that. Man, you go on a Carnival cruise, nigga, they got the fucking, the Guy Fieri's burgers, that shit. Man, my mouth is salivating just talking about it, bruh. I swear, man, I ain't gonna lie, I miss going on cruises. Nah, I haven't been on it in a while because I'm like, bro, I'm not going on no cruise, fucking broke, nigga. Like, I ain't doing that. But when I do go on a cruise, I'm just throwing down. What else I think about it? Shit, the pools. I mean, I really don't go into the pools. The pools, it's a great vibe. It's a party vibe. So, hell yeah.
But in the middle of nowhere, meaning once you're out at sea, a lot of lines get very blurry, and some of those lines are the law. Security is weak. Laws don't always apply. And if something just so happens to you, there is an extremely high possibility that no one will be held responsible. Now, this isn't just some spooky rumor or conspiracy theory meant to scare you. This is real life. I mean, literally 200 people have gone missing on cruise ships in the past 25 years. Welcome to the absolute dark side of cruising. So, like I stated, over 200 people have gone missing on cruise ships since 2000. And it's not like they just went missing and were found. They literally just vanished in thin air. And that is absolutely terrifying. And it's terrifying for the obvious reasons, but also just with all the mysteries of the sea, thinking that people just vanish while they're in the middle of the ocean, that is what really scares me, because I don't know what goes down underneath the sea. There are lots of theories. I mean, we know a very small percentage of the ocean, okay? We don't know a lot about what's going on down there, and that creeps me out in itself. But if you guys want to see a video on the conspiracy theories of the ocean, I would...
And it's crazy because anytime I'm talking conspiracy theories with my buddies, ooh, I think I got a shit. Either I got a shit or I got a fart. Alright, I had to fart. Anytime I talk about conspiracy theories with my buddies, I always say, bruh, why is it that we know more about outer space? We know more about outer space than we do in the depths of the ocean. Like, why is that? I constantly think about that, and it's like, because I know that. Sorry, hold on. I know that government, they got the funding to it. If they wanted to, they could go ahead and go down to the depths of the ocean, and I'm sure they have some type of metal that can withstand the different types of pressure within the ocean floor and shit like that. I'm sure they got that. I'm sure they already have that. Like, bro, I'm sure they already got like time travel machines and shit like that, bro. And then, bro, they already controlling the weather and shit. So it's one of those things where it's like, bruh, there's something down in the ocean, or there's things down in the ocean that some other life does not want us to see, because I think maybe humans have found it, and humans are very, very, I ain't gonna say humans. White people are very, very greedy. And so I'm sure that they're greedy. They're greedy. They're very they're selfish, greedy, they're violent, and they're all about shit. They're all about themselves, selfish, and they just want to conquer everything. I say white people because I can't say, but black people are nurturing and loving and shit like that. Well, the originals are loving and nurturing and everything, but I think and I believe that the first humans, when they went to the bottom of the ocean, went to the ocean where we can't go now, they fucked up the relationship because they were doing the human shit. Just the raping, the murdering, the killing, and the stealing and shit like that. That's why. But I got my vegan chicken, nothing but peace, positivity, and love and gratitude over this. And I got my strawberry drink. So it's kind of a little vegan night tonight.
absolutely love to do that, okay? I am a conspiracy theory queen, so please comment down below if y'all
I
want
love
that,
women
okay?
who are into conspiracy
A case
theories
that
because
has
I am
recently
too.
gone viral discussing cruise guests going missing is the Amy Bradley case. Netflix just dropped a 3-part docuseries discussing the strange and bizarre missing case of Amy Bradley. And if you have not seen the documentary or have not heard of her story, here is a little summary of what happened to Amy. Back in 1998, a woman by the name of Amy Bradley went missing while she was on a cruise with her family. At the time, Amy was a 23-year-old graduate student from Virginia, and she had her whole entire life ahead of her. But before she went ahead to go and start that life, she and her family decided to go on a cruise. It was her mom, her dad, and her younger brother. The cruise was meant to be a celebratory vacation as Amy was about to begin a new job and just got a new apartment. Amy was described to be athletic, confident, had a smile that lit up the entire room, and definitely not the type to disappear without telling anybody. So here's the timeline of events and how Amy seemingly disappeared while on her celebratory cruise trip. So on March 23rd, 1998, the night before Amy disappeared, Amy goes to the ship's disco, which is basically like a club, with her brother Brad. Like I said, Amy was very confident, she had a vibrant personality, so she made a lot of friends during her stay on the cruise. So along with her brother Brad, she also went to the disco with some crew members, including a man by the name Yellow. So this man's name was not actually Yellow, he went by that name. His name was actually Alistair Douglas. During the night, they were seen dancing, vibing, having a grand old time. And Amy was reported to have some drinks. I mean, she was at the disco, she was having a good time, she was having fun, not a crime at all. And then her and her brother returned back to their cabin at 3:30.
Sorry. It's actually a crime to not have drinks while you're on a cruise in a disco. Just letting you know.
30 a.m. approximately. So according to Amy's brother Brad, he said that Amy was complaining about being a little sick, so they were out on the balcony just talking and catching up. Brad ended up going back inside the cabin to go to sleep while Amy stayed out on the balcony. Around 5:30 a.m., Amy's father wakes up in the middle of the night for some reason, and he glances over at the other bed where Amy and her brother Brad would be sleeping in, and he saw that Amy was missing. But as he looked around the room, he glanced over and then he saw the balcony and he saw Amy sleeping on it, allegedly. So he's like, you know, she's safe, she's home, I'm going back to sleep. Then he wakes up again at 6 a.m., just 30 minutes after he last woke up when he saw Amy sleeping on the balcony. However, this time around, there was no Amy. Her cigarettes and lighter were left behind, along with her shoes and a yellow shirt she was wearing that night. So her father just assumed that, you know, maybe she went downstairs to go and get coffee because they were about to dock at the next island. He said Amy enjoyed taking photos, so maybe she couldn't sleep, got up, got some coffee, got her pictures in, so he thought really nothing of it. But when he went to go and find Amy, he could not find her and immediately alerted his wife, and they both went to go look for Amy. Very quickly, they both saw that Amy was indeed not on the cruise, at least to their knowledge. No one saw her leave her room, she left her passport, she left her keys, and all of her belongings. So, of course, like any normal family would, they went ahead and alerted the cruise ship members. But the reaction was very odd. They didn't alert passengers about Amy missing until the ship docked, which literally gave endless hours for someone to take Amy off the ship if they indeed did, or gave Amy the time to get off of that ship if she wanted to get off on her own.
And the thing is too, like, bro, security. It's a security thing as well. Like, if I'm telling you, like, my daughter's missing, you need to be telling everybody, and you need to be having the crew members go ahead and be on the lookout for who it is, having the picture up and everything. Because, man, the cruise ships these days, they're all about, you know, make sure you got the right card and da-da-da-da. You have your pictures taken and everything to show that if you're, to make sure that no one steals your identity, but also to ensure that you're safe, you have safe travels and stuff like that. If I tell you that my daughter is missing and you don't alert anybody until the boat docks, like, what's going on? I'm gonna start having questions. It's gonna raise some red flags.
And what is so odd about
And I'm
this
gonna be
is
pissed
that
too.
when you're on a cruise ship, you would think that your safety matters, or at least your family member's safety. So I found it quite odd that the cruise ship team did not even want to alert the entire cruise ship that there was a missing passenger because they said it was too early to make an announcement on the loud machines because it was 7 a.m. Are you
They make the announcement at 6 a.m. that you need to get the fuck off the boat so they can go ahead and get it cleaned up for the other people. So how is 7 a.m. No.
kidding me? And not only that, like I said, when they said their daughter was missing, they still went ahead and docked that boat and opened up those doors to let anybody get off that dock, which is incredibly crazy to me. Quite frankly, if that was me and I went missing, I know my mother would have caused hell on that cruise ship. If it was me and my mother was missing, I would have caused hell, because what do
If it was you and I was there and you were missing, I'd cause hell too.
you mean that you are not going to make an announcement that my family member is missing because it is too early? Excuse me? If I was on a cruise ship, and I have been on a cruise ship before, and there was somebody missing, I don't care if it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm sleeping. You should make that announcement so that we can make sure that person gets back with their family safely and as soon as possible. But that wasn't the only odd thing with these cruise ship members, okay? Amy vocalized to her family members that the cruise ship members were making her uncomfortable from the start of the trip. Amy allegedly stated that one crew member even asked her to get off the ship in Aruba with him. She politely declined. Another red flag was with the crew member Yellow we discussed earlier. When questioned, Yellow claimed that he went straight to bed that night. However, conflicting evidence showed that he was indeed not in bed, and he was in fact dancing with Amy that night. And eyewitnesses said that they saw Amy and Yellow get on an elevator together in the wee hours in the morning. So why are you lying about what time you went to bed if you claim you were not guilty? Another very odd component was that Amy's photos went missing. So you guys know when you guys are on a cruise ship, this probably isn't as common now because we all have our own cell phones and cameras, but a lot of the times, and even still to this day, people will take photos on the cruise ship. So you'll get your photos in and then you'll come and pick them up later. Well, that wasn't the case with the initial photos that Amy and her brother Brad took. Cruise ship photos of Amy mysteriously went missing when her mother went to go and pick the photos up. And it was quite strange because none of the other family members went and picked the photos up. So why would a stranger want a photo of another stranger? Due to this, Amy retook the photo with her brother that night that she went missing. And that is the last photo we have of Amy. And then, like I stated, the cruise ship line they were on was Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean downplayed this entire circumstance. They waited hours to start searching for Amy, and they waited hours to make an announcement that she was missing. Security also locked down the ship late after hundreds of people already disembarked the ship, and just the crew members, even in the documentary when being interviewed, were so callous and dismissive of the entire situation. It was almost as if they did not care, and when the parents pleaded for them not to leave the island that they were on, the cruise members said, well, life goes on, people paid for this cruise, so we gotta go without your daughter. To this day, over 27 years later, Amy has yet to be found. So
I would sue. I'm suing the brakes off of Royal Caribbean. Suing the fuck out of you. I don't know why.
here are some possible theories as to what happened to Amy while she was on this cruise. The first theory is the obvious: accidental drowning. So this was dismissed immediately by the family. They claimed that Amy was a very strong swimmer and she was super athletic, so she would have been able to survive the currents had she fallen off the ship. They also stated that if she willingly went into the water, not falling off the ship, that wouldn't have been the case because she was terrified of night swimming. However, with this theory, no evidence supports this. And according to lots of experts in the Caribbean, they state that had she fallen off the ship, she would have definitely washed up on shore because of how strong the water is. Or at least some part of her, an article of clothing, a body part, something. Another theory is that she voluntarily disappeared, that she hopped off when the ship opened their doors and she just wanted to get away from her family. But once again, this is extremely unlikely because she was very close to her family and friends. She also made promises to a girlfriend she had at the time that alluded to the fact that she would indeed be back. She had a new job to look forward to, a new apartment. Her life was just starting, and it was starting in the right path.
Yeah, Yeah,
so
oh
how
God.
likely would it be that she just decided to just take off into the
Yeah,
Caribbean?
hell no.
Another unlikely theory, at least in my opinion. And then, of course, the biggest conspiracy theory is that Amy was abducted and or trafficked. From
Her hair looks very good. Your hair looks very beautiful, Tony.
the crew members' odd behavior, missing photos of her, and alleged sightings of Amy in the years to come of her being spotted in the Caribbean. Hear this. Numerous tourists in the Caribbean have reported to seeing a woman that looks exactly like Amy while they were in the Caribbean. And both times they spotted Amy, she was seemingly in the Caribbean sex trade. One time she was spotted in 1999 in an alleged brothel, and another time in 2005 in a bathroom in the Caribbean. The 1999 incident was when a Navy officer allegedly spoke to a woman who literally said, in quote, "My name is Amy Bradley. I need help."
The nigga, why don't you fucking help her? Goofy Naval officer.
Join Planet Fitness
Oh,
today
you
and
didn't want
save
to get
$28 or more. Just
you didn't want to
$1
get in trouble
down,
because you ain't
$15
supposed
a
to
month.
be.
Mommy, who is that?
He didn't want to get in trouble because he knew that being an officer, you can't be in the fucking. He knew that being an officer, being in any type of uniform, and getting a prostitute or something like that, that's illegal. You can't do that. So he must have said it afterwards, but no, that ain't even cool, bro.
End quote. This was in Curacao, and right after, she acted like nothing happened when people were back around them. However, he chose not to say anything because he didn't want to lose his ranking in the Navy. Absolutely insane. I want to try and hear somebody out, especially in those circumstances. I mean, he said the person at the front door had a big pew-pew, and he was not supposed to be there while he was serving. Right is right and wrong is
See?
wrong, and I think he should have done the right thing if
Yes,
someone
he should've.
literally said, "My name is Amy Bradley," and she was found missing in the Caribbean. Might I say also, this was a
Now, it'd be different if, like, he didn't know who it was. And he was like, bro. But she asked for help, though. So it's like, I can't let that slide, bro. She said, "My name is Amy Bradley and I need help." Nigga. And you ain't do it because you ain't lose your fucking...
huge story. He claims
The karma
he didn't
that's
know
gonna
at the
come
time,
from you,
but
sir.
regardless if you didn't know, if someone tells
But if
you
it already
with an
has it,
American
like,
accent that
it
my
will.
name is so-and-so and I need help, I would think you would go and get help, or at least try to alert someone within the coming days when you're
Exactly.
back in America, or alert the authorities in America. Something.
Yeah.
But he did absolutely nothing. And the other time I told you was in 2005 when Amy was spotted in the bathroom with a woman. The woman was on vacation. She went to go use the bathroom, and she said she heard some sketchy men inside the bathroom yelling at a woman saying she needs to hurry up because she has a job to do and she better not try to run away. And the woman even asked, "Is it okay if she sees the kids after?" The tourist said she spoke to the woman who was clearly being held against her will, and when she asked the woman what her name was, she said her name was Amy. And another huge and shocking piece of evidence was photos that got sent to Amy's family in 2005 anonymously.
Oh,
It was a
shit.
photo that looked almost strikingly and scarily similar to Amy, but an Amy that didn't look like Amy anymore in terms of how she was dressed. It was very clearly a photo that was found on a sex worker website. The photo looked strikingly similar to Amy, and even the FBI agreed after using their advanced technology to see the similarities between the two images. However, authorities could not track the IP address on the website. So as I stated, to this day, Amy is still missing, and due to the negligence of the cruise ship members, she is missing to this day. I think if they actually worked a little bit harder and did not open those doors until they found Amy, she may still be here. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, she has yet to be reunited with her family, and we don't even know if she's alive or not. Most of these sightings were back in the early 2000s, and we are now in 2025. So had she been trafficked, given her age now, it's very unlikely that she would have been seen as useful to these traffickers, and they may have gotten rid of her in ways I would not like to imagine. But I'm going to hold on to faith and hope, just like her family is, that she is indeed safe and will be found. This is an ad by BetterHelp. After hearing a story like this, a person going missing at sea, cover-ups, and the uncertainty of finding that loved one, it's a reminder that mental stress can come from so many different places. And while sponsored by BetterHelp. Just over a
that
decade
fool was
later,
bussin'.
another woman went missing without a trace, this time on a Disney cruise line, and her name is Rebecca Corium. And if you thought things would be handled differently on this cruise line, trust and believe you better think again. Rebecca was a 24-year-old Disney crew member from the UK. She was working as a youth counselor aboard the Disney Wonder cruise line. She was known to be responsible, grounded, and very close to her family. And she had big plans after she got off this cruise. She previously worked with children, absolutely loved working children, and planned to continue doing so later. However, that opportunity never presented itself. So Rebecca went missing the same month Amy went missing, and nearly the same exact days. Amy went missing the early morning of March 24th, and Rebecca went missing the early morning of March 22nd. So the night of March 21st, Rebecca is seen socializing and texting her boyfriend, who was also a fellow crew member. In the wee early morning of March 22nd at 5:45 a.m., she's seen on security footage in the ship's staff area looking distressed and talking on a phone. She ends the call, puts her hand on her face, and is clearly upset. And then she walks away. This is the last time anyone saw her. Later that day, when Rebecca didn't report to her shift, a ship-wide search began, but nothing was found. Her key card, ID, and personal items were still in her cabin, so that led many to believe she wasn't planning on leaving anywhere. But her flip-flops were found near the crew pool, which Disney suggested meant that she fell overboard. But there are major problems with this theory. Number one, the security footage is conveniently vague. She's clearly visibly distressed, but Disney never released full footage or context. We never found out who she was talking to, why she was upset, or what exactly were they discussing.
Man, you know what I think, and this is what I believe too, is that there's a reason that these either crew members aren't saying shit, and the head of like the cruise lines, they put out vague statements and only putting out certain pieces of evidence. They're into the trading shit. This all like big companies or corporations, they're into this. They're into the underground, the trafficking and, you know, smuggling of drugs, and they make it seem like they care about your safety and well-being, but if they want you, they gonna get you. If you're not paying attention to the sign. But that's why they putting shit, only putting certain amount of like I said, videos and evidence and, you know, out of context and stuff like that. They mixed in with that. I already know. They mixed in with it.